All right, let's get into it. Good morning, guys. Ravens, Pittsburgh goes the wrong way. It just does. Some of the takeaways from the game, some people, it feels like they didn't watch the game based on their takeaways because this isn't why did Derrick Henry not get the ball in the fourth quarter or why did he only have 13 carries. That's not the headline. There's three headlines, in my opinion. One is the Derrick Henry 2 point play combination. Yes, should have been on the field for that play. It's a terrible play. Let's just start there. Anthony Richardson of the Colts, Jalen Hurts of the Eagles, maybe Kyler Murray of the Cardinals, or if you want to take a non-running quarterback and run a quarterback run on 2 point play, fine. Maybe. I don't even know if I like it in general. I kind of like it with like a Sam Darnold where no one sees it coming. But with Lamar, you have to give him the option to throw the ball. You can't limit him to one side of the field. You just can't. There's just no value in it. He's too dynamic. He's too good. If something doesn't go right away, he's got to have a chance to do something. If you rewatch the 2 point conversion play, they are relying on Aguilar and likely to block linebackers. God almighty, what a terrible play it is. Someone broke it down and showed on Twitter that likely and Aguilar aren't even lined up right. They're like likely slapping his hand away. Lamar's quick snapping it. It's just all rushed. It's just bad. It was just a terrible play. So that's headline number one. Is that's just an awful play. Headline number two revolves around Tucker because I mean, look, with all things being equal, and you don't want to analyze the rest of the game, we lose by two Tucker missed field goals. Boswell makes all his field goals. We had six of them. Son of a bitch. And Tucker misses two easy ones or two expected ones. I don't know. I'm not a kicking expert here, so I don't know what to do. I don't think there's somebody better available right this second, but I do know he eats up a lot of salary more than any other kicker, and he's not very good right now. And he's not the reason we lost, but he's certainly a contributing factor. He makes the headline. If kicker makes the headline, that's not good. Two really bad misses, momentum killers. Yeah, just bad. And then the third one is the lack of discipline, right? The penalties, you cannot have 12 penalties in a road game. You can't really have 12 penalties in a game, period, but on the road, what are we, I mean, so the Harbaugh Ravens ever since 2008 always play hard, play aggressive. They're easy to root for. Not easy to root for yesterday. It's just stupid penalties. Then the ball's taken away from us three times, just like snatched out of our hands. I mean, it's not Harbaugh's fault. The ball snatched out of our hands three times, but it was a mentality of undisciplined football of a team that just didn't really care versus a team that really cared. That's how it felt. It felt like a team, it's like an AFC championship hangover in the middle of November where Pittsburgh meant everything to them to win that game. I mean, everything. You could just tell. And the Ravens defense matched that energy. I mean, stop after stop after stop. Just it just asked them for one more at the end, and they just couldn't get it done. But it was, I mean, God, what a frustrating game. Very frustrating. Defense plays their best game. Even Roquan gets hurt, and they still play great against the run. They really did. I mean, as good as you can ask. Sure, they gave up some big plays over the middle. Still the National Football League, and you can't hit over the middle the way you used to. So, yeah, it's part of the weakness. That's fine. But Tre'Davious White made a couple great plays on Pickens. They held up. They were able to do enough to get it done. Humphrey makes a great play at the end. They get 4 sacks. So the headlines to me is the lack of discipline is headline number one, the penalties and lack of discipline. Number two, it's Tucker, and number three is the 2 point play because it can't just be one play. But I mean, it was such a bad play. There's just no reason. Like, when I say the Colts, if they just want to run the ball, that's because Richardson doesn't have Lamar's ability to throw the ball. Like, so and he's a freaking running back. So if the Colts want to do it, if Vikings want to do it, maybe the Eagles, like a Brock Purdy type, but not Lamar. Lamar is just, first of all, because they're planning on it. So you're not getting the surprise factor. And he's just too good to pigeonhole him to it. Lamar was great yesterday. If you want to look at his numbers and He's obvious, the numbers aren't great, but I thought he was. I mean, I thought he did everything he could to give us a chance. And the 9 play drive that didn't feature Derrick Henry to get the touchdown, you can't criticize Derrick Henry not getting the ball if we had 2 possessions in the fourth quarter and it's just we didn't have the ball. So Henry got the ball as much as he possibly could because there's just too many penalties killed the drive. Had the ball for 22, 23 minutes. So I didn't look at it like, why didn't Henry get the ball more? They scored the touchdown on the final drive without Henry touching it, and he should have been in there on the 2 point play. He wasn't. He wasn't in there that whole drive pretty much. So whatever. That to me was, I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting over it because when I listened to Lamar after the game, it kind of sounds the way I'm sounding now, just like frustrated, lack of an explanation of really what happened. And then Harbaugh is like, just a horrible press conference as always from Harbaugh when we lost, as if he's angry at the reporters for asking questions. That he wants to keep a secret what the 2 point play is. Just weird behavior by him, and just the team not ready to play. Now they got to go to the Chargers. Chargers played great last night for most of the game. They let Cincinnati back into it, but it's gonna be a really tough game. And we're 7-4 now, so sure, the playoffs look like a 90% chance, but it's not a 100% chance. And now the division's in, yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle. Just a really frustrating game. There's not been too many games where you just haven't enjoyed it as a fan. Like I said, Hartball's teams are usually ready to go. That one, we weren't ready to go from the beginning. Hill likely and Henry all had the ball taken from them. Andrews barely gets the ball. Flowers barely gets the ball. Penalties kill everything. Just no vibes, not a lot of fun. So anyway, it's over with now, and we'll see. Monday Night Football next week against the Chargers. Don't have too much time to feel sorry for ourselves as we go through these games. Starting with the Chargers from last night. I don't know if the Bengals got eliminated, but they're damn close to it. Talk about missing field goals, man. McPherson misses 2 of them, and the Chargers win the game. Chargers come back, and well, first they dominate. They're up, was it 21 to 6, 24 to 6, 27 to 6. They're up 27 to 6. Then it's tied. Then they look like they're going to lose, and Herbert pulls it out. Dobbins runs it in. Chargers Ravens next week. That game is going to be awesome. So we'll see how it plays out. Bengals are reeling. Tough loss again for Cincinnati. Man, great game if you watch it. So the rest of the games, I'll go through it more tomorrow because I really didn't watch a lot of the games. Basically watched a little bit of the Bills and the Chiefs at the end, but just all about the Ravens game yesterday. So Colts win, they pull it out. Aaron Rodgers, I guess we're done here because the Jets could not get it done. They had 40-some seconds left on the clock after the Colts come back to take the lead, and Rodgers gets sacked twice, and that's the end of that. Colts win. Colts are alive. Thank God for my bets. Anthony Richardson, good enough. I guess sometimes some tough love is still necessary. They bench him for a couple weeks, comes back, Colts win. Jets look like they're done. I got the Bears game right. Bears hung with the Packers the whole way, but they blew it at the end. Jordan Love gets it done. Story of the Packers here. They go to 7-3. Bears look like they're finished, but they cover. Game was tight. Dolphins got that one right. Dolphins just cruise. I don't know where the Dolphins are at, but they're going to benefit here from a relatively soft schedule down the stretch as they try to get the 7 seed. They destroy the Raiders. The Raiders are cooked. Man, the Raiders suck. The Raiders they're done. I don't feel a need to elaborate on that. This is the one game I got wrong yesterday. Patriots tried to backdoor cover, but they had to settle for a field goal. They lose by 6 to the Rams. Rams are alive. Stafford looked good. Good numbers. Always betting Puka's numbers seem to be a good bet. As the Rams are, that NFC West is going to be photo finish all the way to the end. All 4 teams are going to be involved. Rams win. Patriots now probably eliminated. They're in the same category as the Jets, where Jags, Titans, not and the Browns. We're getting to the point now where they're done. Whereas the Dolphins are lingering around, and the Bengals are lingering around for that playoff spot. But those other teams, after their performance this week, you don't see them winning 4 in a row. So that's the same thing with the Browns. I told you I should have just bet the Saints. Just easy bet. Browns suck. Winston's going to put up big numbers. I don't know how he did it. Didn't watch the game, but Saints cruise. Saints are still alive somehow. They win 2 in a row. Are they not the weirdest team in the world? Saints win two in a row. They win two in a row to start the season. Uh, who knows? 35 to 14. This one I got right, but didn't bet it. I said, what? I think I actually said the spread could be 35 or 40. Turns out the Lions are peaking. I don't know if they're peaking. I don't know if they're this good, period, but they win again 52 to 6. I don't know what Jacksonville's going to do, but I just don't know why you would just keep the coach right now. I would just get rid of him, let some coordinators do whatever they're doing because Doug Peterson has got to be checked out. They just lost 52 to 6. They're getting blown out. They were horrible against the Vikings the week before. The Lions just didn't take any mercy on them. They destroyed Jacksonville. Lions have a potential trap game. I pray next week as they go to Indianapolis, as the Colts maybe can slip and get the Lions, who can't get up for every single game. They're playing an AFC opponent, a running quarterback, and a Colts defense that is opportunistic, if nothing else. So maybe the Lions slip up next week, but they are clearly the best team right now in football. As the Chiefs lose, I think people will, the Ravens beat the Bills. So even though the Bills won, I think the consensus right now is the Lions are the best team. The Vikings, though, right on their heels. Vikings are headed to the playoffs as they get the two wins in the middle of the season that you just need to get, right? They beat a terrible Jacksonville team. Now they beat a terrible Tennessee team. So they're all the way up to 8 wins. They're 8-2. They just got to win what? They can go 2-5 here to finish it out, and that'll get them in the playoffs. 10 wins should be good enough. But they have their eyes still in the division. They're one game behind the Lions. They did lose to them at home, but the Vikings are right there. You don't want to play the Vikings. They're well coached on both sides of the ball, and they have the best player on the field at all times in Justin Jefferson. So not a team you want to play. Vikings win. Game I got the most right. So it was a 3-1 day for me yesterday. Could have just been a 5-1 day if I didn't do the teasers with the Vikings and the Dolphins, but I put them in a teaser instead. So it was 3-1. But the Broncos was my favorite game. I thought it was the most obvious game. I didn't do a tremendous write up on it. I apologize for that. But I just thought, it's just fairly obvious. The Broncos are first of all, it's a tough place to play. Can't underestimate that. If you're not used to playing there, a dome team going on the road, that environment, the air makes a big difference. So that's thing number one. And then thing number two is the Falcons just had nothing to play for. They're up basically 3 games on the Bucks. They lost to the Saints. They're kind of just it's just one of those games where you can't get up for every game. Whereas the Broncos, they're really trying to get that 7 seed or the 6 seed, right? And now with the Ravens slipping up, I should just say a wild card. There's 3 wild card spots, so they're trying to get that third, one of those 3 wild card spots. Colts, Dolphins, that's where we're at right now. If you look in the AFC, you figure. I mean, I guess the Colts can still catch the Texans as the Texans play the Cowboys tonight. So that's not guaranteed, but assuming the Texans, get the AFC South, you have the Texans and the Ravens and the Steelers. Those 3 spots look guaranteed, and the Chiefs and the Bills. And now you're trying to figure out those last 2 spots, right? And the Chargers seem they're right there. And that last spot, even if you think the Broncos aren't the best team, they're in the best position. So it's the Broncos, it's the Bengals, it's the Dolphins, and it's the Colts, with the other teams seeming to separate themselves on the wrong side of it, right? So that's the battle as we move down the stretch here, and the Broncos kicking the Falcons' ass. They needed to win that game, so that's why I like the Broncos so much yesterday. They played the Chiefs great. They win that game. Another bet that preseason, so I'm happy about this, is the Seahawks beat the Niners in a game that this is kind of what I expected Seattle to do, is play defensive games this year. They come off the bye, and McDonald gets it done. They do enough on San Francisco to get the road win. Didn't really see any of it, so looking forward to watching that game this afternoon. But Seattle beats San Francisco and puts them back at 500, and there goes the NFC West. Here we go. Arizona, they had to bye, but the Rams win. Seattle wins. San Francisco loses. So if you know who's going to win the NFC West, let me know. But if you have a strong opinion, you're going to get great value on any of those 4 teams down the stretch. And then the Bills slay the dragon that is Patrick Mahomes on 4th and 2. They're winning by 2. They can kick the field goal, go up by 5, which everybody that's giving 2.5 is praying they do. Or I don't know what anybody's praying they do, because we know Mahomes is going to go down the field. So Allen scrambles, hate to say an MVP performance because I want Lamar to get it. But yeah, I'm going to watch the whole game in its entirety this afternoon. just so frustrated after the Ravens game that I didn't watch most of the first half. And yeah, Chiefs lose. I don't know if it's better for them or not. I don't think it matters too much that the Chiefs lost. I think it's important that the Bills won, especially now that the one seed is back on the table. As Buffalo is one game behind, they own the tiebreaker, and yeah, so Buffalo wins, Kansas City loses, and I'm just about to pull up the Bills' schedule here for a second, but I would say the type of performance that Buffalo gave yesterday is the confidence booster that they needed. They could have lost in a tight game and still been okay, but to actually win is really important. And then they get well, let's see, they get San Francisco. Oh wow, that's a Sunday night game next week. That should be a great game. Tough spot for the 49ers. They got to go all the way to Buffalo Sunday night. If that's not the biggest travel in the NFL, it's up there. Seattle had to go to Buffalo, or Buffalo had to go to Seattle. That's up there. So San Francisco all the way to Buffalo Sunday night football. Man, tough game for San Francisco. Buffalo then gets the Rams. Man, they have a tough schedule here. They get the Rams and then they go to Detroit. So three tough games, but then they finish out with the Patriots twice and the Jets. So the Bills have a good shot here to get the one seed. They get the one seed. Kansas City doesn't want to have to go back there. It's going to be fascinating here. So I'll go through more of it with J Mark tomorrow. I'll catch myself up, but yeah, not a happy day here in Baltimore land. Trying to find a positive. I guess the only I don't know. There really isn't a positive actually. There's just I don't know. Roquan got hurt at the end. Humphrey got hurt at the end. Defense played good. I guess that's a positive. Just frustrating game. Middle of the year, it's not over. I guess that's the positive, right? You don't have to play your best football right this second. So it is what it is. We shall judge them a little bit more next week as they play the Chargers because if they want to win the division, they're going to have to win that game. Squealers get the Browns at home on Thursday night. I think it's at home, isn't it? So that's not. Browns suck. They can't protect the quarterback. That just feels like an easy game for the whatchamacallit for the Pittsburgh. Let me just double check before I get out of here if it's on the road or not. Oh, it is on the road at least. They're only 4-point favorites. Maybe they'll slip up. I doubt it though. Cleveland just too many mistakes. So we'll see. I'll be here in the morning. Enjoy the game tonight. Not the strongest opinion in the world. Texans at Cowboys. Cowboys got to play for. I mean, it feels like they're dead, but Texans aren't playing good football. They turn the ball over a lot. Pretty big rivalry in state. Should be fun. We'll see. I'll look at it a little bit more later today. Have a good day, guys.